Now, I don't intend on this video being a particularly long one, but there's just a few features which some of you have asked about that you haven't seen anywhere else, or you just want to see me showcase them. So there's a few things that come in Wrath that, yeah, not many people are talking about, and I don't want to go over like the LFG tool. We've looked at that on numerous occasions. These are a few little features which maybe you don't know about, or you've just not seen yet. So the first one's the in-game calendar, and what exactly it does. So obviously it's a calendar. I mean, that's fairly straightforward. So first it's got filters, like you can filter in and out the battleground call to arms that you can see disappearing here on each Thursday here and each Monday there. You can turn on and off when Dark Moon Fair starts and ends, but this is actually extremely useful to be able to see in game because, especially with how popular trying to get Dark Moon card greatness is going to be, being able to see when the times are to buy and sell these cards is going to be very useful, because when these decks can actually be handed in during this week period, you'll expect to see a lot more of the physical cards, so the actual trinkets, being sold on the auction house, and people probably trying to get cards quickly and paying a little bit more than they ordinarily would, because they know if they don't get their deck completed in this week, they're waiting another month. You can see active raid lockouts as well, but obviously I'm not actually locked to anything on this character, but it would show you when something's going to reset. So if you were saved to Karazhan, it will show you that Karazhan's going to reset on the Wednesday, obviously for the EU, or Tuesday for NA. And it also shows you the weekly holidays as well. So Kalawak Fishing Derby on the Saturdays here, and on the Sundays you've got the Strangleform Fishing Contest. Now that's all well and good and quite useful on its own, but the best thing about it is removing Discord signups. And what I mean by that is if you sign up to a raid in your guild, odds are you're doing it via an event creation on Discord. You'll have a channel where you sign up to raids. Maybe you don't, maybe you just all meet at the same time every week, no problem, but most guilds that I know at least use Discord to actually create signups for raids. You don't need to do that anymore. Whether you choose to continue using Discord or not is a completely separate matter, but you can actually create a guild event or you can create an event. So if we go ahead and create an event, we can look in the drop-down menu here and we've got raid, so then we pick what raid we're actually creating the event for, or it could be a dungeon or PvP or even an officer meeting or any type of meeting really, or other, which would just be, I don't know, we're creating poker night this Thursday. But let's say we wanted to create an event for a raid and we said, right, we're going to be doing NAX 10. We're going to start invites at 7:45 p.m. We can type some things in here like, you know, remember to come with all consumables, etc., or no invite. And now we can invite any players we want. So if I invite Scottejaye, which is my other druid, we can see that it's now invited, but they haven't confirmed. So you see how it looks on both sides. We'll enter a title, we'll call it NAX 10, because I didn't actually name it, and we'll create that event. So now that event has actually been made, you can see the NAX sort of picture that goes over the square, which is quite nice, because once you start to know what all the pictures are, you can more or less just glance at the calendar and know what you're going to be doing without even clicking into the event. You will need to click into the event because you're going to want to accept. So now I've just logged on Scottejaye, and now this is the best part about this. If you look, I've done nothing yet, but if we look at the calendar up here, you can see that it's glowing, and that is quite obvious to see. So you should never miss one of these events. So again, when it comes to Discord, if you can't be bothered to check Discord, or you rarely look at it, or you miss the ping or whatever, you could quite easily miss a sign up. Whereas when it's in game like this, it's very hard to miss because it's asking for your attention. So when you click into it now, you'll see, oh look, NAX 10. So now I've got a few options. I can either accept, I can go tentative, or I can decline. And obviously I can remove the event from the calendar if I decline, because I probably don't really care about seeing it if I decline. But what we're going to do here is we're going to accept. So now the raid leader, which is my main, will be able to see the time and date that I responded, and I've actually accepted. And then down here on this right-hand side, it will give you a glimpse at all the people that have signed up. So you can see it's 2 druids that have signed up, and there's 2 people confirmed, accepted, and signed up for invites. Just because I've accepted on this druid doesn't mean that I'll get invited. So now we're back on the main druid that created the event. We can go ahead and go, oh, Scottejaye is accepted. And if we right click on the name, we can now set the invite status to confirmed, which will then mean he's going to get in the raid. We could put him as out or a standby if we want, or tentative, or we can just decline it completely. We can also grant moderator status to different people on the invite list, so they can help invite in specific people. And then when it's actually time to start your raid, it's just one click, and it'll invite all accepted and confirmed players to your party. Now that's creating a normal event. Let's go ahead now and create a guild event. The guild event one's a little bit sketchy at the moment trying to get going, but the basics of the guild event is instead of when we look at the normal event that we created, we need to invite each individual person. With the actual guild event that you create, you'll be able to invite everyone to it from a specific rank upwards. So if you was to say everybody who's trial upwards will get an invite, then they'll all get automatically invited to the list and they can all start accepting. So then when it's time to go, you can have a look through here on the right-hand side, make sure you've got a good spread of people that you want, and then bang, press mass invite, that's your group formed. Now, I think that's a cool feature, personally, and it's one that we're going to use in-game for raid invites because it just streamlines everything and we remove that additional step of using Discord. And now, really briefly, the equipment manager. So if you go into features, you can turn on the equipment manager. And what this basically does is it acts like item rack. So up here, you've got an additional button, which is called equipment manager. And I can now save this set and say, okay, this is my tanking set. So if I call this tanking, and then I save it with that icon there, that's it, it's done. Now, let's say I wanted to change a few items around. So let's say I wanted to put that weapon on, I haven't got another chest there, let's find something I have got, I don't know, that cape, we'll change the shoulders, maybe we'll even change the head for something else. Let's get rid of that trinket. Oh, I can't because that's breaking. All right, never mind, we won't get rid of that trinket. Getting LUA errors, which is a bit of a pain. But now we can save this specific set as, let's say, DPS. And you can put both of these icons on your bar now. And literally, with one press, you can switch between your gear sets. Like you can see, best way to focus here is just look at the headpiece, and you can see that, as well as any other items, I just change them whenever I switch between the two. So if you've got multiple specs, even if it's like the same spec, like you're a fire mage, but you've got a PvP setup and a PvE setup, whatever, you can easily switch between your PvE and PvP gear. Or if you're a resto druid who does a bit of boomy, does a bit of feral, you can just set all your gear lists up and switch between them on the fly. It is really good, and I know it's possible with an add-on. I use Item Rack, and I've used Item Rack all throughout Classic, but this just saves another add-on. And then one last one, which is a bit of a weird one, but people keep DMing me on Discord about it, and I don't know why. So you've got the achievements, but people have been asking what the statistics tab is at the bottom. So I won't bore you with achievements. You know what this system's about. I've talked about it many, many times on multiple videos. But if we go to statistics, this is something we haven't looked at. It's just fun facts about your character. So, equipped epic items in slot, the amount of gold you've acquired, total killing blows. There is loads here. Arenas won, deaths, the largest hit that you've dealt. That can be quite a fun one to try and cheese certain mechanics to get as high as physically possible. Cooking skills, highest alchemy skill, duels won, duels lost, deaths in twos, most deadly boss, so what you've died to the most, and just basically everything that you can think of. You can break it down by character to see talent tree respecs, how many emblems of each type that you've actually acquired, wealth. So this is quite a cool one to actually look at as well, because you can see the amount of auctions you've posted, auctions that you've purchased, gold spent on travel, just loads of sort of meaningless rubbish in the grand scheme of things, but still things that are quite fun to compare with your friends. And I remember loads of times sat comparing different things like this, what boss was the most deadly for us during ICC progression compared to other guilds, and being able to see, how many times you'd wiped on a specific boss, flexing them PvP stats when you've just never died. I don't know, trying to create an immortal character and being able to take a screenshot of you being level 80, having killed loads of people in arenas and battlegrounds and never died. Highly unlikely that that's going to happen, but, it's a fun challenge. But overall, it's just got a bit of information about absolutely everything to do with your character. So I know that's a bit of a boring one to end on, apologies, but a lot of people have been asking what that tab is. What is that statistics tab? So hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea. When you're actually, you're on the pre-patch and that, you'll be able to look through, and there's a lot of reading material just in the statistics tab. But I hope that cleared up a few things anyway. So that is the calendar, in-game calendar, the equipment manager and statistics tab on the achievements. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe and roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.